The 2024 Lone Star Le Mans has been completed, and what a race that was. There was non-stop action throughout this 6-hour endurance race, including an intense fight for the lead between Toyota and Ferrari that saw the closest finish to an overall race in the history of the World Endurance Championship. So let's dive into the details of this race review and talk about everything relating to the 2024 Lone Star Le Mans. 36 cars would participate in this event at the Circuit of the Americas, with the noticeable absence of Isotta Fraschini, who were forced to leave the championship for the following rounds of this season. Qualifying and Hyperpole put former F1 driver Antonio Giovinazzi on the overall pole in the number 51 Ferrari, followed by Robert Kubica in the customer number 83 AF Corsa entry, and in third was Alex Lynn in the number 2 Cadillac from Chip Ganassi Racing. And over in LMGT3, it would be the Heart of Racing Aston Martin that would lead the field to green in that class. The two Ferraris at the front would take us to green flag racing, but they would need to watch out for the fast-charging number 2 Cadillac and the number 35 Alpine, as earlier in Hyperpole, Alex Lynn and Charles Molesi unexpectedly put their cars on the front row. The race would begin with the two Ferraris holding their positions into turn 1, while Molina got a great start in the Le Mans winning number 50 Ferrari, and he moved into third ahead of Ferdy Habsburg's number 35 Alpine and the number 15 BMW. This allowed Ferrari to lead 1-2-3 at COTA, and begin extending the lead off of the other 15 entries in Hypercar. Elsewhere, the battle for fourth got a little chaotic when contact was made at turn 12 between the number 35 Alpine and the number 2 Cadillac, which made the cars go off track. Later on, the number 35 Alpine would receive a drive-through penalty for the incident, but the A424 would still have a good opportunity to achieve a good result. Also, I wanted to mention that Ferrari was in trouble in LMGT3 with one of their cars. Before the race began, there was an issue for the number 54 Vista AF Corsa Ferrari in the GT3 category, with the car needing a clutch replacement. The entry would eventually rejoin the race, but it would be several laps down. Vista AF Corsa would likely have a difficult race with the number 54 car, but the second 296 GT3 was still in a points playing position. Going back to the contact in Hypercar, this did allow the BMWs to move into 4th and 5th position. And speaking of the German manufacturer, they actually had a really good race. Both BMWs were running in the top 5 for a while, and the number 20 car was even pressurizing the number 50 Ferrari for the podium. BMW M Team WRT was definitely having a stronger race compared to previous events beforehand. Actually, I somewhat think that this was their best race in the WEC so far with the M Hybrid V8 when it comes down to the performance. One manufacturer that wasn't having the best of days in Hypercar though was Porsche. Both the factory Porsche Penske's were having a difficult race to say the least, with the number 5 Porsche having to pit early and dropping to the back, while the number 6 Porsche was slowly making its way back into the top 8 after qualifying 14th. And later on, the number 12 Hertz Team Jota Porsche was having trouble and being forced into the garage. If I'm being honest, it just wasn't Porsche's race in the top class. Hopefully they bounce back stronger in Fuji though. Over in LMGT3, the Heart of Racing was controlling this race, with the number 27 Aston Martin in the hands of Ian James. And there was a great battle happening for second, involving 3 cars, the number 55 AF Corsa Ferrari, the number 85 Iron Dames Lamborghini, and the number 81 TF Sport Corvette. In 5th was the number 88 Ford Mustang, and one of the reasons why this car was gathering a lot of attention during this weekend was because Texan racer Ben Keating was in the car. Earlier in qualifying, Keating put in a great lap to get his Mustang into Hyperpole, and in the race, the number 88 Proton Ford was running well on its home track. Remember, Ben Keating is not racing in the WEC full-time this year, as he's currently competing in IMSA with United Autosports, but he has raced in the WEC beforehand. Last year in 2023, Keating, along with his co-drivers, won a remarkable class victory at the 24 Hours of Le Mans. And also, he went on to win the LMGT3 AM Championship with Corvette Racing in the number 33 car. He has also raced at this track in the previous WEC event in 2020, racing the Project 1 Porsche. But for this race, back up in the hypercar class, there was a swap for the lead between the number 83 Ferrari and the number 51 Ferrari. But later on, there was drama for the prancing horses, when the number 51 Ferrari was spun by a lapped Peugeot 9X8. But then, things just went downhill from there for the pole-sitting car, as the number 51 Ferrari suffered a driveline failure. Driver Antonio Giovinazzi got the car back to the pits, but not only did the Ferrari 499P drop to the back of the hypercar field, but it also lost the ability to continue to participate in this race. Ferrari AF Corsa was forced to retire the car, and the Italian manufacturer was left with 2 entries in the race, with the top 3 now displaying the number 83 Ferrari in the lead, followed by the number 50 Ferrari and the number 20 BMW. Although the place for second would change, as the number 20 BMW got up into second place when René Rast pulled off an impressive overtake to pass a GT car and the number 50 Ferrari in the long right-hander. Now, it wasn't just drama happening in the hypercar class, but also in LMGT3, because the battle for second place resulted in damage being given to both the number 85 Iron Dames Lamborghini and the number 81 TF Sport Corvette. Both cars needed to pit for repairs, but the Iron Dames Lamborghini was hit with more damage and needed to go into the garage for further repairs, and eventually Iron Dames were forced to retire their GT car. The Iron Dames have been having an unlucky season, as proven by the race in Interlagos just before COTA, when the Lamborghini was in the leading position when it was forced to retire due to coolant issues. Hopefully Iron Dames find success in the final 2 races, but it certainly has not been their year in the WEC. Up at the front, Toyota joined the fight for the overall lead, and the battle became a 2-horse race between the number 83 AF Corsa Ferrari and the number 7 Toyota Gazoo Racing entry. Yifi Yi impressively pulled off a great stint and held off Dutch racer Nick de Vries during a very intense fight for the overall lead. But eventually, the lead came down to the pit stops. The number 7 Toyota pit first for the undercut strategy, with Nick de Vries jumping out and Japanese racer Kamui Kobayashi hopping in. Then it was time for the number 83 Ferrari to come into the pit lane, and when it exited, the undercut had worked better for Toyota, as Kobayashi got his number 7 GR010 ahead of the Ferrari and into the lead. From that point onward, Kobayashi was continuing to pull a bigger gap to the number 83 AF Corsa car. The advantage was definitely in Toyota's hands. Elsewhere, while the number 7 Toyota was having a great race, things weren't going as great on the other side of the garage for Toyota Gazoo Racing. The number 8 Toyota had an incident with the number 6 Porsche Penske, where Sebastian Buemi pushed Kevin Estra off the track. In addition to a puncture which forced the car to pit, the number 8 Toyota would be handed a penalty, which would drop it to last in hypercar. However, Toyota would face more drama when the race-leading number 7 car was forced to come down pit lane due to a drive-through penalty. And this was because Kobayashi sped through double-waved yellow conditions due to the stoppage of the number 94 Peugeot, which unfortunately was being forced to retire. The number 7 Toyota's lead of over 11 seconds was not only removed, but the Japanese marque would lose the lead of this race. Robert Schwartzman would therefore take over the lead in the number 83 AF Corsa Ferrari, and now Kobayashi was tasked with chasing down the lead and reclaiming it. Meanwhile, the number 20 BMW would also receive 2 hefty penalties, dropping the M Hybrid V8 outside the points and into 14th overall. This was heartbreaking because this car was running really well and in a position to achieve a big result for BMW. Hopefully the number 20 car can come back stronger and achieve a better result at Fuji. Back up at the front, Kobayashi was closing the gap to the Ferrari and looking to take Toyota to victory lane for the first time at Lone Star Le Mans. This was one of the most intense times of this race, as the gap between the two cars got as close as 1.9 seconds. But thankfully for Ferrari, the number 7 Toyota did not reclaim the lead, and after a small mistake at turn 1, the results were pretty much decided. Now it was smooth sailing for Schwartzman, who would bring the number 83 Ferrari 499P across the line in first, to therefore allow AF Corsa to win the 2024 Lone Star Le Mans overall. Robert Kubica, Robert Schwartzman, and Yifi Yi would stand on the overall podium for the first time, and win Ferrari's first WEC victory outside of the 24 Hours of Le Mans. Following the 83 Ferrari would be the number 7 Toyota in second place, and even though it finished runner-up once again, the number 7 Toyota achieved a commanding result. It also allowed Ferrari and Toyota to secure the second closest finish in the World Endurance Championship history, of 1.7 seconds separating first and second overall. Completing the podium in Hypercar would be the number 50 Ferrari AF Corsa, and this would be a good result for the championship as well. Over in LMGT3, taking the win would be the number 27 Heart of Racing Aston Martin. This was an amazing result for a team that are also based in the United States of America. Alex Riberas, Daniel Mancinelli, and Ian James would take the win for the Heart of Racing, and Aston Martin would also secure their first victory in the LMGT3 category. Completing the podium in this category would be the two Porsches. The championship-leading number 92 Manthey Pure Racing Porsche would finish in second, just ahead of the number 91 Manthey EMA Porsche completing the podium. As for the championship standings heading out of Lone Star Le Mans, the top 10 in Hypercar continues to see the number 6 Porsche Penske on top, followed by the number 7 Toyota Gazoo Racing entry after its big result at COTA, and the number 50 Ferrari completes the top 3. The second Factory 963, which is the number 5 Porsche Penske, is in 4th, with the number 8 Toyota Gazoo Racing entry completing the top 5. The number 12 Hertz Team Jota Porsche is in 6th, followed by the 51 Ferrari and the number 83 AF Corsa Ferrari. And after their big results at COTA, the number 2 Cadillac has moved into 9th, followed by the number 35 Signatech Alpine, which has pushed the Proton Porsche outside the top 10. As for the LMGT3 standings, the number 92 Manthey Pure Racing Porsche has not left first place since the first event at Qatar. It leads the championship over the number 91 Manthey EMA Porsche, and the number 31 BMW from Team WRT continues to sit in third. In fourth is the number 27 Heart of Racing Aston Martin, and after its win at COTA, it has extended its lead off of the number 55 Vista AF Corsa Ferrari, which is placed in fifth. In sixth is the second BMW M4 GT3 from Team WRT, followed by the 777D Station Aston Martin, the 85 Iron Dames Lamborghini, the number 88 Proton Ford, and completing the top 10 is the number 59 United Autosports McLaren. So that was my race review, covering everything that happened during the 2024 Lone Star Le Mans. What did you think about this race at the Circuit of the Americas? And are you excited for the final 2 rounds at Fuji and Bahrain, for what should be an incredible end to this 2024 season? Well, as always, let me know all your thoughts down in the comments. Thanks for watching. For more content on endurance racing such as the WEC and IMSA, consider subscribing if you haven't already. On screen, you'll find some suggested videos to watch next. For now though, that's it for me. You'll hear from me next in the following video.